we go. Hello, everyone. Hello. Give it a minute. Let some of y'all hop on. This is a random night for me to come on, but basically, I don't want to get too much into it until I see if some of y'all are going to hop on, because y'all get so mad if I start and don't give y'all enough time to get on. Hello, Lauren. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this weekly live. Guys, I have a video. I'm editing it. We'll upload it on Saturday. It'll probably be Saturday night because I'm doing a wedding this weekend. And Monday, I am going, hopefully, fingers crossed, to see my godson for the first time. So, speaking of the devil, hey, Ashley. Hi, Paige. Hello, everyone. Listen, there is something that I want to talk about because I have fell down the rabbit hole of parenting TikTok. Now, listen, before you guys click out of this live, listen, because I'm very curious to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. Because I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, wow. So this lady has made national headlines, y'all. Like, I'm talking, she's been on the news, honey. On the news, okay? She is at t.c.huck, Huck, on TikTok. This is what she looks like, okay? She is a 34-year-old mother from North Carolina, and she made a video about a week ago saying that she does not allow her children to spend the night at other people's houses, and this includes family. Like, she says the only house that they could spend the night at, and that is only in an emergency situation, is her parents and her husband's parents. Y'all, people are pissed about this. Like, if you go and watch her videos, she's made probably a dozen responding to comment videos. People are going in. And here's the thing, right? When you are a parent and it is your job to keep your children safe in whatever way you think, okay? I think the reason why this got the response that it did was because the way she titled her video. So she titled her video somewhere in the realm of basically out of the box parenting rules I have, or something to that effect. People are outraged. People are pissed that she doesn't allow this. She does, in these responding videos, she does go on to say that they can go and hang out with their friends during the day, but they cannot sleep at their friend's house. And I do get where she's coming from, because she does say that the reason is because you can't control what happens at another house. I do get that. And then she also says that she pulls statistics and says, that a certain percentage of kids, they're influenced by older siblings, and you can't control other parents. And then there's another video with her and a fellow TikToker where he says that, and this makes sense if you watch the news, typically when someone does something, unalives someone, they say, oh, Jim was such a good man. He was part of the church and the community. And that is true. And he says, you never know. You never really know a person. That is true, right? Unless we actually live with someone and they're and even then, you can really not know a person. But unless they're like in our lives every day, in and out, like, it's hard to truly know a person. A lot of the arguments, though, back and forth from other, I'm assuming parents, I don't know. But a lot of what I'm seeing is, your kids are going to resent you. They're going to go on and retaliate against you, etc. Hi, Miss Sally. Hello. Basically, Sally, to catch you up, we are talking about a TikToker that went viral this week for her parenting rules. Yes, you heard me right. Parenting rules. And guys, People are outraged. People are super pissed because of her parenting rules. Because one of her rules, and it's only this one rule that anybody has an issue with, is that she doesn't allow her kids, her children, to spend the night in other homes, including family. The only family member that she says that she would even consider would be her parents or her husband's parents. Hi, Caitlin. So I'm curious to the parents out there. Like Ashley said, she says, I say to each his own. Me personally, I need that break from time to time. I feel like, and here's the thing, okay? It's tough when you share your opinion on the internet, okay? Because once you do, you open the door to other people being able to weigh in on your life, okay? And that is always going to be an argument. You know, people say, oh, well, I still get my privacy. Okay, I understand that. But if you give out information and decisions that you make on the internet, you have to be ready for other people's opinions and for them to, you know, share their opinion. She also doesn't even give her kids ages on TikTok. I mean, I can understand not wanting to show your kids or whatever. She also says that they can't, her daughter, she's not allowing her daughter to get her ears pierced until she's like 14. Um, Someone asked, you know, are you going to allow piercings? Because she has piercings. She also has tattoos. So someone asked her opinion on that. And she said, well, she can get her ears pierced at 14. Um, so, you know, that's another thing that people are like, okay, well, she can't go to sleepovers, you know, which like I said, I'm back and forth on this because in one sense, they're her kids, right? So if those are her rules, fine. But she did share it on the internet. So I'm very curious because I've never heard this from a parent before that they don't allow their kids to go and sleep at their friend's house. I do get where she's coming from. You know, it's a safety thing. She wants to be able to protect her kids the best way she can. The next argument that someone gives is, well, you can't protect them during daytime hours either, which is true. She can't protect her kids, you know, all the time. Her argument back to that was, yes, that is true, but I can, you know, tweak certain factors and certain choices to protect them as much as I possibly can, i.e., not letting them go and spend the night at other homes. I'm very curious to know your guys' opinions on this in particular. What do you think? Now, the other one, I didn't like the damn video, and now I can't find it. I've searched the damn name every way I can think, and I cannot find his fucking profile. But, anyways, his is, y'all brace yourself, okay? He has got teenage girls, and from what I could tell in the couple of videos I watched, is that they are of some kind of religion. And when I say religion that way, they're wearing their hair is very, very long. They can only wear skirts. They can't show their elbows like very much. Let's see. Caitlin says, my dad's best friend, my uncle, never allowed his daughter to stay the night outside of their house, even at our house. And he's known my dad since 13 years old. If we wanted to have a sleepover, I went there 30 minutes away. So this must be a thing. I don't know. I would never think of that because I mean, my whole life we had sleepovers at my house, at my friend's house, whatever. I mean, hell, even to this day, I go and stay the night at my friend Ashley's house sometimes, which she does live almost 2 hours away. So it's a little bit of a haul to go there. So I don't know, that one's just weird, but this guy, I'm assuming they are religious. I don't know which one what kind of religion they are, and I'm not going to, you know, speculate. But he shared some of his parenting rules. And he says that they can't cut their hair, they can't dye their hair, they can't show their ankles, they can't show their knees, their toes, their elbows, their armpits, their back. They can't show more than 3 fingers from right here. So this little bone, I don't know what you call that, 3 fingers, that's as much skin as they can show. So basically a t-shirt, right? Because anything else is going to be more than 3 fingers. We are all Hispanic though, so maybe that might be a thing. Maybe. Maybe, but one of my best friends is Hispanic and we did slumber parties all the time. I don't know. I don't know. But this guy is getting a lot of heat. Mainly because there are about 6 other women in his videos. Now, he has never said that these women are his wives, ever. Okay, so I want to put that out there. However, allegedly, he does live in Colorado, I believe. I did find that through the video. Allegedly, from what I heard going down a rabbit hole, he is married to several women. Okay. And these women look super duper young. Okay. I don't, again, this is all alleged. Don't know. Not trying to get sued, but they do look young. Okay. And his rules are unbelievable. But basically, he was saying that he agreed with TC Huck on her rules about no sleepovers. He doesn't allow his daughters to have sleepovers. They're not allowed to have phones. They will not be allowed to have get their driver's license when they turn 16. They'll never be able to get jobs. They're only allowed homeschool. They'll never get to. He will not allow prom. I mean, he did like 4 videos that was nothing but his rules for his daughters. And she responded and said in the comments and said, I am nothing like you. So I think that, people are comparing her to him as insane because she literally is just saying, my kids can't go and stay at people's houses. They can go hang out at their house, but they can't actually physically sleep there. This man is saying, my kids can't have friends, basically have friends at all. And from what I've seen in the videos of him, which I hate that I did not save. I didn't like his videos. I can't find him, but I don't know because a lot of people were reporting his TikTok. So it might have gotten taken down. I don't know. I know it was David dot something and it started with the P, but I couldn't find it. Anyways, I digress. He was getting a lot of hate. So you probably seen it on For You page where it's him and his 4 daughters and there's like 6 other women behind the daughters. And he's showing all of his rules. And it's just like video after video after video after video of him like pointing up and a new rule will pop up like this. And the rules are insane. Like my girls can't, go to school. They can't go to prom. They can't get a driver's license. Like that shit is booked. They will turn 18 and go wild because they are so sheltered. Exactly. And see, this is the conversation that I want to have tonight. This is the conversation I want to have because this opens up a lot in conversation when it comes to, is there a such thing as overparenting? Or as a lot of people like to call it, hovering, a hover parent, right? Is there a such thing as going too far? Okay. Because you have to understand the generation that your kids are growing up in. Okay. If you allow, like he doesn't allow cell phones. Let's just start there with just that. He allows no technology. You have to prepare your children for if they were to ever want to leave your home and go out into the real world. They're not going to know how to even make a damn phone call on a cell phone. They have to have some type of cell phone in the house, though, or how else is he making fucking TikToks? You know what I'm saying? And that is the one thing that ticks me the fuck off with these religious ass men that are like, oh, women can't do shit. What is his name? Jesse Lee Peterson? Is that his name? Jesse Lee Peterson or what the fuck ever? Very much him. Like women shouldn't be able to vote. Women shouldn't be able to drive. Women shouldn't be able to make choices. Women shouldn't be able to get an education. Nothing like that type shit. They always have all of these rules for women and what women aren't allowed to do, but their asses go right out and do that shit. Like, oh, well, this is literally the way they are. Because I was married to a motherfucker who thought this way. If you've watched the video, then you know. I may need to re-record that video because it's been a very long time since I recorded that video. It was my first marriage. I was very young and stupid and married this guy. And come to find out, I was marrying into basically a cult. Super religious family, weren't allowed to cut hair, dye hair, anything like that. And the way that those men are is they make up all of these rules, right? They make up all these rules for women. But then they turn around and they do those things. Like he was saying in there, oh, my girls can't have technology. They can't have phones, computers, laptops, nothing. But then you're recording TikToks. So you have a phone. So if your daughters ever want to go out into the world and have a regular life, they don't want to be a slave, because that's basically what those girls are. They're basically a maid. They cook, they clean, they get beaten half to death. Listen, I married into a family like this, and I know good and well how those men are. They're scary. Like if you are not picture perfect and walk that line straight, everything is your fault. If they have an affair, it's because you're not bedding down with them enough. They also don't believe in consent, marital consent, meaning that if you say you're not in the mood, you're a bad wife. That's a sin. They can go at it in the middle of the night with you, like trigger warning, but they can. Like it's really fucked. And this guy was saying a lot of shit like that, like very fucked. Very, 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 very fucked. Okay. So people obviously were outraged, leaving a bunch of fucking comments. And I don't even think the motherfucker knew how to reply to comments or anything or he just was ignoring them, which is probably what he was doing. Again, those men like to do that. They like to, say whatever the fuck they want and then walk away into the shadows. But I'm thinking his profile got taken down. Or he deleted his profile because he was getting more attention than what he thought. I just feel so sad for those girls. I feel so like after watching those videos, like I remember being in that marriage and like when you're with someone like that, like you actually start to believe some of those things. It's called brainwashing. Like you literally start to believe those things. Like I thought that I was literally going to burn in eternal hell because I was in a marriage that I wasn't happy in. Like if I cut my hair, I thought that I would go to hell. Okay? Like, oh my God. And I remember this one time I went to a church service with him, which I eventually started making excuses and wouldn't go. If you've seen the video, then you already know this, but I started making excuses and wouldn't go. But I went to a church service one time and I had just gotten my hair dyed. My mom dyed. My mom does hair. So like my mom had, it is Paige. It 100% is. My mom does hair, so she had gotten some new color and she wanted to try it out on me. I've always been her guinea pig. I've, always loved like dyeing my hair cool colors and doing all these cool styles. Like I had the Victoria Beckham haircut where it's, real short in the back and angles down. I had that for a while. Like I've always been down for whatever. And me and him had only been dating. I think we weren't married yet. We were dating. We weren't even married. Like after we got married, I would not go to church. But I went to church with him and the preacher called me out in front of a whole sermon of people that I was not familiar with. This was one of the first times I went to church. A matter of fact, I think it was the first time that I actually sat in service because the first time was like a homecoming. So it was just like food and stuff. So an experience like the preaching or whatever. But anyways, he calls me out in the middle of this sermon. I literally cried, ran to the bathroom and cried because he told me I was going to burn in eternal hell for dyeing my hair red. Y'all, it's so scary to think about those girls because they're brainwashed. Like this is all they know. This is all they know. And this leads me into my next topic, which is cult survivors on TikTok. So if you didn't know, there is a ton of cult survivors on TikTok. People who have escaped cults. And there was this one girl in particular, I can't remember her name, but she's got blonde hair and she wears little circle glasses, like Harry Potter glasses. And she's a mom, she's married, whatever. She was like, she talks about like when she was full on brainwashed, like they weren't even allowed to celebrate Christmas, like nothing. Like you are not allowed to do anything. And when you come out into the real world and you escape that shit and you come to certain realizations, can you imagine how scary that would be if you were never around a computer, if you were never around other people other than your siblings and maybe other church people, if you go to a church, if you're allowed to. Not only that, but she also talks about like arranged marriages, like how her parents used to try to sell her into an arranged marriage, which I know that that is true. Like, can you imagine if you lived your whole life that way? Like you thought that was normal. Like you thought this way of life was normal. You actually thought in your actual heart of hearts that you would burn in eternal hell if you cut your hair, if you showed your ankle, if you pierced your ears. Could you imagine what it would be like to escape that shit and come out into everyday society? I really do believe that it is a form of abuse. I really, really do. Like how this shit is allowed is beyond me because people go to jail all the time for children not getting a proper education. If all you are teaching your child is about these different rules that you've made up in order for them to not burn in hell, what is your child to do if this isn't the path that they want when they're an adult? If they choose that they don't want to be in the cult or they don't want to be a part of this religion, which in my personal opinion, a religion like that, that is extreme. That is extremism. Like, what the hell is that? Because even if they are 19, 20 years old, when they go out into actual society, well, you've also got to think like they've never really had a childhood because they're learning how to make bread and washing clothes and doing all that shit when they're like 4 years old. Like they don't have a childhood. I'm very curious of your guys' thoughts on this. What do you guys think? Like if you go down this rabbit hole, all I have to say is huge trigger warning. Also be sure that you're in a good headspace because this shit is a rabbit hole for sure. It will have you deep in thought. It has had me so immersed in my thoughts for the past few days. It's all I've been thinking about. And I think I'm going to do an actual podcast on extreme religion because I found my path only a couple of years ago and now what my beliefs are. And I'm not going to be like Jacqueline Glenn or anybody, or God is Great and come on YouTube and talk about my religious beliefs because that isn't what this channel is. I think that as long as whatever your beliefs are don't affect other human beings, I'm all for it. We have one life, live it to the fullest and live it the happiest that you can. But when your beliefs are affecting other human beings, tiny little humans that it's your job to direct in this world, in this life, and you choose to take them down a path of brainwash where they are scared to death to do anything with the fear that they may burn in eternal flames. How terrifying is that? I don't know. We might do a podcast about this because I really do have some thoughts on different religious beliefs and how they go about their teachings to children. I did a TikTok about a week ago about the guy that I dated who was super religious. And they had given me a job in the church to be a Sunday school teacher. It was right around Halloween. And I decorated the whole room because my family, we didn't grow up super religious at all. Um, so, of course, we celebrated Halloween with pumpkins and ghosts and bats and whatever. So I decorated the room for the kids and got pumpkins for them to carve. And the preacher and his wife walked up to me and said, "This is a sin. This is of Satan. Take it down now." And made me have the kids color in a Noah's Ark coloring book for Halloween. Wouldn't even let me give them the candy. And a lot of people commented on that. Um, but it is more common than you think for these type of beliefs to be going on. I feel like if you're super sheltered in childhood, that when you are able to be free from that, you more than likely go nuts and might make a lot of bad decisions or be in dangerous situations just purely out of not knowing. Exactly. It is a form of neglect and abuse. Because if your child does not know any better, then they don't know. For example, let's just create a, situation right now. Let's say my whole life until I'm 18, I was raised thinking that for basically anything, I could go to hell. If I use a phone, if I, shave my legs, if I show my armpit, if I dye my hair, if I pierce my ears, like the list goes on. If I'm raised that way, okay, and then let's say that I turn 18 and I'm like, you know what, this is crazy. I'm out of here and I leave, okay? How do you know right from wrong? How do you know what is okay and what's not? If some man walked up to me after I escaped and said, "Here, come with me, we'll get you a job, you'll make good money," takes me into sex trafficking or whatever, any scenario. How does someone who has been brainwashed their whole life gonna know right from wrong, good from bad? That shit's scary as fuck. It's literally a form of neglect. Literally. Like why this shit is going on, I'll never know. And if that is your religion, fine. But the kids should be checked up on. They should be made sure they're okay. Are they brainwashed? You know, if you want to, have your children, believing your religion or whatever, that's fine. The problem lies when there's all of these. It's all about you're going to go to hell if you do that. If you do this, you're going to hell. If you do that, you're going to hell. Not being able to cut your hair, not being able to play with toys, not being able to go to to make friends, not being able to do anything, like any possible fun thing that you could possibly think of or imagine, you do not have. And you're made to think that if you show your damn collarbone or armpit, you're going to hell. That cannot be okay for a child. If we pull a child from a parent, okay, who is on, let's just say, on drugs, okay, they get sober. They have to jump through hoops after hoops after hoops. There's a girl that I went to school with who went through this, okay? She has been sober for 7 years and she still does not have her daughter. They make it near impossible for a recovering addict to get their children back. But someone who abuses their children, beats them if they don't do things right, brainwashes them, makes them think they're going to go to hell for all of these things, gets to keep their children. Nobody bats an eye. The only time an eye is bat is when they marry 6 different women and, create a whole compound of people. There needs to be more attention brought to this because it's dangerous. People that were heavily sheltered and literally did not know people are out in the world that could hurt them. Like my dad knew at 16 I was going to go to parties and drink, so he told me never take a drink from someone, never leave your drink alone. Call me if you're too drunk. But I know a girl whose parents were highly religious and she sadly wasn't told anything, and as soon as she turned 18, literally on her birthday, she went out and got SA. It's super sad, guys. It really is sad. So, yeah, if you go down this rabbit hole on TikTok, trigger warning, okay? Trigger warning. It's going to be really hard to watch, especially if you've been in a narcissistic, abusive relationship. Please, please, please deep dive at your own risk. It is going to be highly, highly triggering. But yeah, we're probably going to talk about it on the podcast this week. So look out for that. By the way, if you have not already, go download the SoundCloud app and Stories of a Chubby Chick with Morgan Shea. The first episode was released on Halloween. Don't forget that we'll have a new video, a story time, coming out here in a couple of days. So if you want to see that, be sure that you are subscribed. Like this live if you like our weekly TED Talks here on the Morgan Shea YouTube channel. Also, be sure that you go over and follow me on TikTok. It's at Morgan Shea 33. On Instagram, at official Morgan Shea. Everything is linked below. Also, if you would like to support this YouTube channel, I have a list. Well, my computer went to sleep, but I have a list right there on the iMac of all of the people who have donated to the channel, and I have something super special for you guys. So if you would like to donate to the channel, please go down in the description box. There is a Cash App and a PayPal down in there that you can send to, and I will greatly appreciate it. We are trying to soundproof this room right here for the podcast. So I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate any donations, and I thank everyone who has donated so far. I love you guys so, 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 so much. And until the very next time, bye.